On the view. Hold on. I know I got it, son. Thank you. All right, everybody, welcome back to the country called us. Sorry, we again having technical difficulties with YouTube. I have it scheduled and it deletes it, and I have to go back in and redo it. And thumbnail was too big, and it just erased all my description and everything. It was, it's going on. Prepared for what you prepared for. What are they prepared for?
No.
I don't know. Hey, there's Trishy. How you doing? Did you sitting right there?
No.
Oh.
My body is, but my mind's not.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Got you. Let's see. Hey. Yeah, YouTube is dumb like that, buddy. But today, I guess we're going to talk about. Got a couple questions from some people about fears. Oh, what's wrong with that? Okay. About fears that we would have leaving, where we're at, city life, I guess you'd say, and fears of living the homestead life, and what our fears are. I know personally, my only fear is, just animal wise. I mean, you have animals here too. Don't get me wrong, but it just seems like that's you're going into their neck of the woods more. I mean, everywhere is theirs technically. God gave it all to them first, and then us. But it all starts with them. Sorry, some of my glasses. What the hell? And that's my biggest fear is just dealing with. I'm not a big snake and spider guy. You know what I mean? I'm not afraid of bears or anything like that. Just snakes and spiders is all I'm worried about. What about you? Like spiders?
I think we discussed this on the last one.
No, not the last. A couple months ago. But Shane's not here to drop the spider party in.
Listen, I have a phobia of spiders, and let me tell you, it is okay. I guess it would be a phobia, but as long as they're leaving me alone, I guess I'm okay with that.
Hey, Lisa, thanks for stopping by.
I mean, like I said in the last video, we have a crap ton of spiders around my work. Lisa, you can attest to this. I take pictures of them all the time. But, as long as you're not, it's not coming at me or crawling on me, I'm good with that. As long as it's not, in my bed, whatever, I'm good with that. But yeah, see, even Lisa said, we work at we work at a site full of them. Like, I mean, they're everywhere. Like I said, as long as they're not coming at me, I'm good.
Is everybody else having all right being able to see? Because my nephew Alex said that the camera's kind of blurry. Is that any better, Alex?
Whoa.
You moved one from the bathroom door here. Uh-oh.
That one was on there the other night. I didn't touch it. I left it alone. Like I said, as long as it wasn't bothering me, I was okay with that.
It's a little better, but it's blurry. Will you up there maybe with your shirt?
It's probably blurry because of the light.
Oh, do you want to switch it
in the background?
Which way you want to turn it? This way?
I mean, either way, you're gonna get light.
Well, no, it'll be just darker this way though.
Oh my
God! Sorry, guys. This is just like kind of hold my beer.
Yeah.
Ooh, going for a ride. Is that better? I had to get a view of my ugly car.
Is that better?
I know, Alex. I appreciate it. Is that better? If someone let me know if that's better.
Yeah. Well, no crap, because he's not even in the picture.
Well, I wasn't going to move until I knew we were in a good position. I didn't want to get set up again and then have to move again and set up again and move again. Oh, this stupid chair. Sorry, guys. But, okay, yeah. So back to what I was saying. Spiders, snakes are my thing. I'm not afraid of a bear. Listen, bear wants to come get me, We'll fight. You know what I mean? I might lose.
As a matter of fact, I just killed a spider that was on the table.
It's not a phone, son. It's my laptop. My laptop's not pooping. I have a $10,000 laptop sitting right here, okay? It's modded out. It's got it all.
10,000 in his head, maybe.
Yeah, 10,000 minus 9,999.
In his head, maybe.
Yeah, so what? Let me get hold of Eugene.
Ian's at Damien's soccer game.
Oh, okay.
He just messaged me.
Okay. But yeah. So obviously, there's more fears than just that. So you know, obviously, I fear the fact. Now, failure is not a fear of mine. That's someone. That's 10,000 what? Yen. No.
How much is that in American dollars,
Not
Jason?
Much, not much.
Math it out for me. I'm dumb.
Maybe pesos, brother. $70.
Oh, okay, well, yeah, no, I paid more for this laptop than that.
Yeah, just a little bit, not much. We should turn it that way where the light's not.
Oh, it's because of the light.
It's darker back here, though.
Well, yeah, up against the.
Yeah. Should we move again, guys? You tell me. I mean, I know I look good everywhere, so it's all right. But I want you guys to be able to see. You know what I mean? College is boring after class. Yeah, I know it is, son. Life is boring after class. Anybody got an idea? Should we move or no?
I think we should, because I can actually see it.
Yeah, I can
see it up here.
Yeah, it's all blurred out. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Let me get my shirt. Get my shirt. This material is not very good though.
Just need makeup. A makeup touch up. Yeah, no, don't tell him that.
Yeah, just a little bit. Where's Shane at? He can give me a makeup touch up. He's good at that. Just watch. Yeah, because it's like really bad over there. That's why I don't try.
It's
still getting a lot of light. You have to get more way over there. You got to work. No,
it won't.
It looked good from here.
My ground is very uneven. Actually, as long as you don't touch it.
Okay. That should be pretty hard. Sorry, guys. This is kind of embarrassing, actually. But I guess it happens. I've seen many lives. You go on the other side.
Go on the other side.
I've watched a few lives where people have to adjust. This is just, real life. Real life for us, I guess. Don't touch it, you said. If I can get there says there's 9 people in here. If I can get all 9 of you to give me a thumbs up, that would help honestly push it out the algorithm.
And what's the matter with looking like Rhea Ripley? I love that woman.
Rhea Ripley, yes.
I love her.
At least at work.
Yeah.
Oh.
I turned it a little bit. Is
that better for everybody? I know she's got a lot of light on her, but
that's because
Yeah,
it's good versus evil.
yeah, that's what it is. Exactly.
I have the light, he has the dark. It should be the
That's
other way
exactly
around.
what it is. Exactly what it is. We got 4 thumbs up. There's 4 people in here that didn't give me a thumbs up. I'm gonna cry. But that's what I was saying. Failure is not a fear of mine because
You're funny, Jason.
what do you say?
More like evil versus eviler.
Right. But of course, I'm off in a special way.
She said, "Of course I am. I'm the special one."
Oh, okay. Yeah, we knew that though. But failure is not a fear of mine per se because I this is something that we want. This is something that we're asking for. Something that we're looking forward to. I put in a lot of, obviously, through the past videos you can research. Go back and watch our videos. I'm sure I talked enough about all the research that I've done, a couple of years worth of research. But the problem with that is you can never be ready for something until you're there. You can prepare and prepare. It's like taking a test. You can prepare and prepare and prepare, and then you get there, and everything you prepared for ain't on that test. And that's kind of what life is about. Life's like that too. A lot of you can. Thank you, Alex. We're moving just so everybody can see, buddy. I appreciate you letting me know. Hey, Tim, I didn't see you jump in there, buddy. Thank you. But you can prepare and prepare and prepare, and you're just still not ready for anything that happens. That's a fear of mine that we're going to be caught off guard. That we're trying to prepare. Sometimes when you try too hard, you miss a lot of the little things, and I'm afraid we're going to get there and start settling in and be like, oh man, we forgot this. We need this. We need, and it may not be, they're expensive things. It's just going to be a pain in the butt to, have to keep running to, obviously what you're always going to have to do, keep running to the store back and forth and whatnot. But it's a matter of just, sometimes you got to just prepare as much as you can and deal with the inevitable when it's inevitable.
You can't always, you're not always going to have everything that you need by the time you go.
No, and that's.
We're doing our best. Listen, we live paycheck to paycheck. And there's things that we need to get to live now.
My son got me for Father's Day. Or was that for my birthday?
That was Father's. No, that was your birthday. That was your birthday.
Move it up so you can see all of it.
You
love you too, son. Definitely birthday. Yeah, that's what it was. Okay, I'm old. I get confused. But go ahead.
But like I said, we live paycheck to paycheck. Like anybody out there, you've got to buy groceries because you got to eat. You got to buy, your toiletries, your toilet paper, your paper towels, laundry soap because, you got to have clean clothes, your dishwashing liquid because, you got to make sure your dishes are done. The stuff to clean your house, all that. It's just, you have to be able to live while you're doing it. And, like I said, everything that we're getting, bit by bit because, you still have to, I have to put gas in my car to go to work. If I don't go to work, I don't get the money to
pay my bills.
Right.
To buy the things we need to pay for the land too.
I don't have the money to put gas in my car to go to work.
Yeah.
I don't have the money to buy, groceries and stuff like that. So it's like
a fart and dust comes out, my nephew said.
Yeah, that's true. He's old.
Right, but the problem with all that is it's not like moving into a house. You're not moving into something that has a stove, a refrigerator, a sink, a toilet, a shower. So you have to prepare for those things before you go. So you have to buy some sort of stove. You have to buy something that you can shower with. You have to buy something that you can use the bathroom in. You have to buy, all of that, then figure out how to procure water for all those things. And then food wise, okay, so then you have to prepare for uh, where you're going to put your food because it's going to be summertime. So, like I said, we're going to start off in the tent just to because it's summer. We can enjoy the tent and no rush to build right away. We got 3.5 months, maybe 4 months, depending on where you're at, where we go. To get something, um, sticks, wood, whatever you want to call it, built. But the problem is, hey Cheyenne, thanks for stopping by, baby. I love you. Um, you know, so even at that, you're still going to need a stove, something like a refrigerator. Whether it's a cooler, it's not going to work. Everybody says, "Oh, get a cooler, get a cooler." You're going to have to buy ice every day. We learned that when we went camping. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
we were buying 2 to 3 bags of ice, and I'm not talking the small bags. I'm talking the huge bags. We were buying
the 15-pounders,
the 2 to 3 bags a day.
And we had like 4 coolers.
Yeah, and we had like 4 coolers.
And then, all right, guys. I don't know if anybody's still left there, but we're back. Sorry, I had to try to fix. I don't know what happened there. That was just weird. Hi again. Give it a second for everybody to realize that we're back.
We're up to 4.
We're up to 4. Me and you were 2.
Right.
Yeah, but I don't know what in the world that was all about. I don't ever crash. My internet's really good, so it must have been something to do with YouTube. That was really weird. Can everybody see us again, or is it good on your end? I guess I could just look, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Can see me. Thank you. Okay. Well, okay. Let me get back to what I was saying before I was rudely interrupted. You got to prepare for all the things that you normally don't need to prepare for. And that's part of the budgeting issue. You have to learn how to budget really good. You know what I mean? You have to learn how to use what you got to figure it all out and decide what you're going to need, what you're not going to need. It's not just tools. It's not just cutting trees. It's not just hammering nails. You're going to need ways, like I said, go to the bathroom, wash dishes, cook dinner. Um, and you have to procure all those things, and that's where it becomes. I don't want to say a challenge, but it starts to nickel and dime you a little bit. Good thing Odin's not out here. There was a kitty cat that ran across the road right there by the truck. My dog, he thinks every animal wants to play with him. But and that's the issue is procuring those things, and that's why people always say it costs so much, it costs so much, it costs so much. If you take your time and break it down, you'll find it. But that's part of my fear. My fear is just I'm one of those people that like to be prepared and like to have a plan ahead of time and like to know what I'm walking into and like to know what I'm doing and like to know, how things are going to work and kind of have, it all planned out and ready to go. And I know I'm not ever going to be prepared to that point to where I'm just going to be able to walk in and just get to work. I'm going to forget something stupid. I'll forget the chainsaw gas or something like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
One of the big things, not a little thing. I'll forget something big, like, oh, hell, I forgot chainsaw gas.
Right.
But, the fears are, I don't have fears like you normally would have, like neighbors.
Right.
Because neighbors are going to be, I mean, you can still have issues with your neighbors. Don't get me wrong; it can still be pain in the butts. But a lot of the issues that you have in the city, you won't have with neighbors like that there because they're so far off. One of most issues you might have is they have some animals that get loose all the time and get on your property, or their dogs are getting loose, getting on your property and tearing up, or things like that, and they're not taking care of it. Well, I'll take care of it for them, if you know what I mean. If you know, you know. I won't play games like that. You want to be a poopy neighbor, I can be a poopy neighbor too. You know what I mean? Better remember where I come from.
You better stop.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a challenge. The fear is just, like I say, making sure, fear of getting it all right. My other biggest fear is, I don't know if you've ever thought of this, but my biggest fear is design. Where to start, like, because when you start out, you're starting out small.
Yeah.
So you may only clear this little section, and then you put your tent up there, and then after, like, we get settled in after a couple of weeks or whatever, a month or two, and we decide where we want to build.
You got to make sure that that's where you want it, because it's going to be permanent.
Right, because then after that, like, then, we haven't had any rain yet, per se, and then it start, all of a sudden you start building, and you realize that this is not the greatest place to build at, because it's, you get a lot of water or something, and, and you're already, got, cementing, post cementing it in the ground, and foundations. Well, we wouldn't really be a foundation, it'd be tiers, like blocks cemented in the ground. Kind of like trailers here, you'd have it like off the ground a little bit like this, so you can get in and under it for the water, electric, your propane lines, things like that. People want to build them like straight off the ground, like this big, this far. No, you got to be able to get under there so you can put your plumbing. That's not one of my fears. Is I'm a handyman, but I'm only, as handy as it can be. I learned a lot throughout life. Trish, knows, believe it or not, for a female, Trish is pretty handy. And sometimes she tries to take over too much and be too handy, but
I can do a lot of things.
Doing things that, like, obviously, I've roofed before, I've done plumbing, I've done electrical, but there was always 10 or 12 different guys there. And if you had a question, you say, "Oh, hey, buddy, hey, Joe, when I'm doing da-da-da-da, I'm running this wire, what size wire do I need?" And they're there to answer you. Now, you ain't going to have that answer. You're going to have to look it up or call someone or figure it out. You just don't want to make those mistakes. And that's what that's my fear, is just the learning process, because going from city to homestead life, it's a learning process. You know what I mean? You're going to learn something. My daddy always said, you learn something new every day until you die, and this is going to be a learning process for all of us, anybody that's involved. And I'm not good at learning. You know what I mean? I'm pretty bullheaded. I like, things my way.
Yeah.
Even sometimes if they're not the right way. But, it is what it is. I'll figure it out. I have an open mind. And I'm willing to learn anything and everything that I can and go from there. What is that something you fear? Oh, my other biggest fear is the animals getting in my garden that Trishy's going to plant. I'm like,
wait, who are you fearing for, me or the animals?
My food.
Oh.
Fearing they're going to eat my food.
There's ways around that.
See, we talk about, I want some peppers, I want some hot peppers, I want all the,
There's ways around that.
Grow some strawberries, grow some, all that good stuff that, costs $10,000 in the store, I can go grow for tenth of the price.
Tenth of the price.
Yeah, it may take a little while, but guess what? I can be patient enough. Is there anything you have a fear of other than the dark?
Told you I don't have a fear of the dark. I have a fear of what lurks in the dark. Because let me tell you, a lot of things can lurk in the dark.
Yeah, that's for sure.
The dark itself never bothered me.
Like I said, my biggest fears are just kind of like what anybody's fears would be. if any of you were going to do this, what would your fears be? Put them in, drop them in the chat or leave them in the comments. Um, just out of curiosity, maybe I'm not thinking of something you are. I I don't really, like I said, we've kind of leaned into it a lot. She's scared of the boogeyman.
No, definitely not.
She is the boogeyman. What you talking about?
Right.
Um, my biggest fears are just like, I guess what anybody's fears would be making sure that failure is not a fear again, but making sure that we do things and don't do it halfway, and make sure that, again, you're going to have all this land to work with, all this space, not all this land, even if you only have 10 acres, if you only have 5 acres, that's still a lot compared to what I've showed you guys here. We have 10 feet one way, 10 feet the other way, 10 feet, you know what I mean? Like, that's going to be a lot. So the design wise and figuring out where, you're going to put everything, and
should have thought about a light.
Yeah. I have a ring light in there somewhere, but
I can't
gotta find it. But fear wise, the transition itself is scary. You know what I mean? Going anywhere new is scary. Like just being somewhere different, a new state, and you don't know people, that's scary. Getting to meet your neighbors, that's kind of nervous. It makes me a little nervous. You won't meet them right away, maybe you will meet them right away. I don't know, but the biggest fear is more like, the simple things, because life is going to speed up before it slows down. Life in this atmosphere, slows down at a certain point, but it's got to speed up first. No, I'm not looking to move a long way from where we are. Maybe we're where I now. We live in Pennsylvania. It's heavy. We get a lot of snow. You probably want to put it behind. Yeah, we got a lot of heavy snow here. So we want to kind of move somewhere where, snow is not really that big of an issue per se, but not the heavy snow that we get here. We live in the Appalachian Mountains area, and we get some heavy snowfalls.
I mean, we haven't lately,
but it's possible to get.
Oh, listen, with it being no rain this summer, I can almost guarantee that our winter is going to be horrible.
Right. But so we want to be somewhere where, they're not, the average snowfall isn't 100 inches a year. You know what I mean? Or, I don't mind 4 seasons. I don't want to be somewhere where it's hot all year round.
No.
Or like Arizona where it's dry.
Arizona is dry and flat.
Texas, we want some trees. I want to go somewhere where, it has 4 seasons, but maybe not, like I said, not blizzards. She's afraid of driving in the snow. I'm not, but that's, still here and there. But I want to go somewhere where, the average temperature doesn't get in the winter, doesn't drop below, 10 below zero is the average temperature around here. With wind chill. When we get a wind chill around here, we get a lot of winds in the winter. It gets pretty cold for a bunch of months, long throughout the winter. So we're gonna go somewhere where, kind of ups it a little bit, maybe a little bit south. Where we're at now, we're more north, and go a little further south. If it was up to Trish, it would be more Midwest. Southeast, was it southeastern?
Northeastern Oklahoma.
I always say south, northeast. Yeah, northeast Oklahoma, where her boyfriend lives. But yeah, they get snow out there, which, like I said, we know we can't escape it, and that's okay. We grew up with it all of our lives.
Right. The only way you're going to escape it is if you go somewhere where it doesn't snow.
Like Florida, where it's 100,000 degrees in the summer. And
California, where...
Yeah, which wouldn't be bad. But but I also have, like, all my kids live here. So I want to try to stay, within not a short distance, but, not 20 hour drive for them, or family, or for us to get back to our family, or if the kids want to come out and they want to come back and visit their, or they want to come visit us, or they live on the land, they want to come back and visit their family here. I don't want it to be like a 2 day trip, to get back here. So we're looking anywhere between 6-8 hours away at the most. I mean, if it was,
At the most.
I mean, Missouri seems to be the nicest place, and everywhere you go, they say it's the #1 homesteading state, but it's like 10, 11 hours from where we're at. And I might be pushing it a little bit, but it's it's still in the thought processes of what we find. I've been looking, kind of West Virginia, Kentucky, Virginia, South Carolina, North Carolina. We're not so much South Carolina, but North Carolina, Kentucky, Tennessee, Alabama might be a stretch too. Arkansas may be a stretch. Missouri, Oklahoma, Texas, son. I would love Texas, but it's all flat and desert. I don't want to be in the desert. It's all dry and dusty and
no trees.
And
you think that we've been in a drought? Yeah, go to Texas.
But yeah. You getting out of here when you graduate? Yeah, I know. I don't want to. I've been in the Army, so been around a few places and things, but I think that's another reason. Seeing other places make me realize the difference between here and everywhere. Different places. Every place is different, but Skeeter.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a challenge, because certain things we want and certain things we need. Yeah, it's a nice list of places. So I kind of like want to leave we leave our options open. I don't want to go too far past the Midwest. You know what I mean? Because Oregon's a nice place. If you're looking to do some homesteading, you can buy some cheap land in Oregon. But that's on the other side of the country for me. That's a good 2-day drive for me. And
maybe longer.
Right. That makes it kind of tough, especially having, I have a younger child, and, he has family back here, or his brothers and sisters don't come. You go north like Indiana, Michigan, or even further west, Nebraska, Kansas. It's all plains. They get a lot of snow. They get, a lot of cold weather in Nebraska. Nebraska. Oh, I just said that, didn't I? Oklahoma. Well, some parts of Oklahoma, because they're in the in the mountains there too. The Ozarks. Missouri's in the Ozarks too, but if you certain parts of it, it's like they still get cold. I think the average temperature in Missouri in the winter is like 30, 34, 35, which isn't bad. I mean, that's cold. Don't get me wrong. That's cold, but it's not, it's not Alaska. You know what I mean? It's not going to be, 100 below zero and be eating seal fat just to survive. You know what I mean? But that's another one of my fears is, like I said, getting somewhere and I pick this spot and I figure out, what I want. We already have a list of what we want, so we've looked in a lot of different places, and we have a lot of places that have what we want, and we just haven't narrowed it down to one yet, because I don't want to start, narrowing it down too soon, because you got to pay the down payment, you got to pay the first month's like mortgage, what have you. It's like I'm buying a house. You don't want to start getting sold on something, when we're 8 months out, and by the time we get to 3 months out, 4 months out, it's gone, and you had your heart set on it. So that's a fear of mine, is that when we're ready to go, and in the May, that there's not going to be what we're looking for available. That's scary, because if it's not there, it's not there, and you don't want to do it in the wintertime. Last thing you want to do is try to start from scratch in the middle of winter. That's what they call real roughing it. But The other fear is, finding somewhere and then, it looks great and everything wonderful, but being that we're looking to travel, 4 or 5, no more than 8, 9 hours away, a lot of the places that we want to go aren't, we're not able to travel to just look at property. So I got to try to do my best to Google Earth, a lot of maps, topographical maps, find people in the area, find amenities in the area, get kind of like, a good, satellite views of the property. You would do, longitude and latitude, and you would get, Google Earth, maps, just to make sure, because, pictures, the biggest mistake you can make is buying something sight unseen, and that's kind of what we have to do, and it is rough. That's scary. That scares me a bunch to do something sight unseen. You get there and it's not what you thought it was. I mean, we'll make whatever out of it. You know what I mean? Listen, I was always taught as a kid, you got lemons, you make lemonade. You know what I mean? You got potatoes, make vodka, I guess. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I don't feel like, we've both been in a lot of situations in life where we had to make do with what we had. May not have been perfect, but you make it perfect. You make it what's best for you. And those are fears. I'm afraid that uh, what's the area going to be like? What is people around us going to be like? Um, are they going to be accepting of people from outside? Sometimes people aren't accepting as much as accepting as you would think. As it's supposed to be the United States, but still, sometimes it's like walking into a whole new world, going to another state. You know what I mean? It's like going into another country. Um, I'm nervous about the land, the ground. What's it going to be like? You never know what you're walking into. Is it rocky? Is it sandy? Is it clay? Is it, those are fears that, anybody should have, but you should be figuring out how deep is the water line? What's,
which way does the water flow?
Which way does the water flow? I mean, like you want to go the frost line, things like that. So, how far deep to bury your water lines. How far is the electrical? These are all things that I'll know most of, but there's still a fear that I don't know as much as I probably should. You know what I mean? But like I told them while you were gone, we've been in places that weren't perfect.
I was watching it.
Okay. We weren't in places that were perfect, but we made it work. You know what I mean?
Oh, God, yeah.
And it became ours. And that's what my son asked me, what are you going to do if you get there and you don't like it? Or, Jackson's mother asked me, this is a big challenge to just pick up and move and give up everything, because you can't try. You can't have what you have here there. Right now, when we leave, we're going to be taking everything in a house and shrinking it down to a very small minimal amount, and that's scary because you're like starting over. That's scary, you know what I mean? But I know that it's going to be okay because this is what I want, no matter what. Listen, you give me, worst comes to worst, I'll sleep in a hot tent with a wood stove. You know what I mean? And caught all year round. I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? Just to be away from all the drama and just silence and, peace and quiet and have my own. And yeah, like just to have that's, that feeling of
accomplishment
and freedom. You know what I mean? Like, what everybody wants in their life is freedom, right? All your life you're told when you grow up, when you're 18, you can make your own choices. You can do whatever you want. It's not true. That's not true at all. Always going to have someone telling what you can and can't do. So this is kind of the only place that I found the only lifestyle that I found to where legally I can do a lot more there than I can here. So it feels more like freedom than it does here. You know what I mean? And that's scary too. Like, I mean, it puts a lot on your plate because you got a lot to look forward to. You got a lot to do.
I mean, heck, if I wake up and I feel like I don't want to cut my grass because my grass is a little high, I don't have to do it that day.
Oh, you would never do that.
I would never do that. Oh my God, you have no idea.
The Hank Hill, the grass cutting community over here. Listen, the neighbors cut their grass down the road. They could be out there 7 o'clock in the morning. It'll wake her up. They could be a half mile away. That'll wake her up. They're running their mower. I got to get out there and run the mower. The neighbors are out there cutting the grass.
Listen, I cut my grass yesterday.
You know.
It was the first time I cut my grass in 2 weeks. Now, when I cut my grass, we have an electric lawnmower.
Steamy.
We have an electric lawnmower. 9 times out of 10, I literally have to cut my grass in sections. I get as much done as I can. The battery dies. I have to charge it, and I have to do the other half the next day. Because we ain't got no rain, and the grass hasn't grown very much at all. I could have cut my grass twice yesterday on one battery.
Right.
Like, I mean, but yeah, I mean, I like to cut grass. Most people hate it. I like to cut grass.
Her and Jackson's fight over who's going to cut the grass. He's 8 years old. Obviously, he wants to learn how to do these things, and he's one of those kids that doesn't mind chores, doesn't mind working hard. All my kids were like that. Shane was like that. Shine was like that. Ian was like that. Carly, Jason. They don't mind working hard as long as it's something that intrigues them and makes they're interested in. And right now, Jackson's at that stage where he's interested in cutting grass because he sees a couple older kids in the neighborhood going around making money doing it and this, that, and the other. So he's like, "Can I cut the grass?" And they argue about it.
And it's not so much that I don't want him to. It's the fact that back when we were getting all this rain, parts of my yard are super, super thick. And it would literally bog out my lawnmower.
Because there's like 50 types of different grass over here.
Right. Like, I mean, one of these days...
You got Kentucky bluegrass.
One of these days I'll make a video of the difference in thickness in every part of my yard with grass. Like, it's just... I mean, it's just unreal. The back of my yard gets way thicker than the front. Right beside my porch gets way thicker than the other side. So it takes, if I had a regular lawnmower and what have you, but see, I like my electric lawnmower. Listen, when we bought that mower, I'm telling you, we didn't think that sucker was going to last a year.
Right.
We've had it for 3 years now. I've used it every summer since we got it. Jackson's mom borrowed it to cut her grass. His mom's neighbor borrowed it to cut his grass. I mean, that lawnmower has been through a lot, and it's still going. So, I mean...
Oh, that was
scary.
Yeah. But that's what we're used to being outside.
Mm-hmm.
So I put up a question for it's supposed to be fears. Edit this. Let me end this one. I spelled it wrong because I couldn't see. Yeah. Okay, so.
You are not LA Knight. Stop.
Yeah.
Hi, Jackson.
Hi, Jackson. We miss you.
We were just talking about you.
Were we? I wasn't talking about you, bud. Oh, we're talking about good. We're talking about them good. Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought you said. Yeah.
Proof is in the video.
Nope. I was talking about.
He just came in from outside. We're still outside.
What the heck is?
I think next week, we started a little earlier. It's starting to get darker a lot sooner.
We'll just do it in Jack's room.
Huh?
We'll just do it like we did that one time in Jack's room.
Yeah.
Why?
Who's Eldon?
Odin.
Odin's in the house, buddy. We didn't bring him out this time.
Because he was being bad.
Because he was being bad.
He likes to knock my coffee over all the time. He likes to knock my coffee over all the time. So what fears would you have starting a homestead is the question, the Q&A that I have. Anybody have any fears that they would have if they were starting a homestead? Anything. You can say anything you want. I mean, leave it in the chat, drop it in the comments later on afterwards if you're watching this video. You know, just got in from outside. Odin. Property taxes. See, property taxes aren't that bad. A piece of wood falling on my head. Well, that's why, you know, before you put anything up, or when you are like using a tent, whatever, you look for what they call widow makers, which are dead trees that have dead branches, or branches that are dead on a tree. Those are called widow makers. Property taxes are cheap. For 20 acres, we were looking at the property taxes were like $110. Now, the more improvements you do to your property, the more the taxes are going to go up. But like they said, they come do property taxes. They'll come in. They'll send an inspector like every 10 years to update the property taxes. So for the first 5-10 years, your property taxes are going to be cheap, and then depending on how much you upgrade your property, depends on how much your property taxes are going to go up. But they're really not that bad, honestly. Everybody thinks they're going to be like $2,000-$3,000. I think it was $110 a year. There was some that were like, between $60 and $80 a year.
Well, right, but that's only for the land. That's not
right. Well, because
the upgrades.
Well, that's what I said.
Right.
But that's why I looked into that too. And a lot of people said that they only come out every 10 years and inspect the property to see if the taxes need to go up.
Well, right. So, I mean, the more you make improvements on it, like clearing out the land,
adding structures,
your water, your electric,
right,
your sewage, all that, property taxes will go up.
Yeah, we are out late. What happened was we got behind, and YouTube was messing up on my stuff again. We started late.
But I mean, it all depends on how much you put on it. How
I know, Tina. It is past curfew. We're old. We should be in bed by now.
But I mean, you go with it. I mean, property taxes you pay yearly.
Hell, property taxes where we're at now for, I think our trailer is 14 by 40.
I think.
Yeah, it's like 14 by 40. I think the property taxes are like $600 a year, $800 a year. Wait, what? You know what I mean? I got a 10-foot yard. You know what I mean? Well, I can pay $80 or $100 for 20 acres. You know what I mean? And yeah, in a couple of years, it'll go up to $100, $120, $200, $300. And in 20 years, it'll be up a little more, but it'll be worth it. You know what I mean? By then, like I said, there's lots of ways to make money on a homestead. You know what I mean? You could grow and sell pigs, grow and sell cows. You can grow and sell chickens. You can sell eggs. You can sell meat chickens. You can have a farm stand. You could.
I'll definitely have one of those.
Timber. You know what I mean? You could have someone come in and cut trees out, and they'll pay you for it. There's lots of different ways. You can breed. It's like people have breeding dogs. You can breed cows. You can breed chickens, pigs.
You can buy and sell cows and pigs and sheep and goats at a local auction house that's near you, wherever you go. I mean, there's always ways to make money, but there's also those same ways to spend money.
They cost money, but you're going to make.
But you have to spend money
to make money.
To make money,
and it's going to cost money in the long run. But like we talked about, that's why we want to be no more than 45 minutes away from like a city, small size city, whatever. Because if we'd have to go to work, she'd have to go to work or whatever, part time, just to occur, a couple more, just a little bit until we get one of those set up. Again, it's not a problem. And then, like I said, a lot of states have what they call farm card. Anything you buy, all the chickens, pigs, cows, goats, sheep, turtles, whatever, dogs, any of their food, any of their supplies, any of the fencing you're buying for them, anything that involves them, you get what they call, you apply for what is called a farm card, and you don't pay no taxes on none of that. On dog food, chicken feed, all that. So I mean, you buy a chicken for $3 when it's a peep. You know what I mean?
Actually, they're not even that much.
No, it was like $1 something.
I was gonna say you can go to Tractor Supply and you can pay like $1 something per
I
peep.
think you pay like $1.25, for peep, and then you raise them for 6 to 8 months. Okay, and you can get anywhere $30 to $40 per chicken. You know what I mean? Maybe not that much. Okay, maybe that's a little stretching. You get anywhere between $15 to $20.
Or those chickens turn into your next meal.
Right. Well, you can get meat chickens too.
So I mean, there's like
meat chickens. Meat chickens. Chickens you're raising just to eat are different than egg laying chickens. See, I've done my research, guys. Okay, meat chickens you get from a peep at 6 or 8 weeks old, and you only raise them to 4 or 5 months, and then you process them. An egg layer you get at 6 to 8 weeks, you can have for 5 years. You know what I mean? But or you can raise it up to 6 to 8 months, take it to the auction. You can make anywhere between $5 and $10 per chicken. Excuse me, guys. It all depends on the breed of the chicken. Pigs, same way. You can get pigs for like $30-$40, but they'll sell for $200-$300 in 6 to 8 months. You know what I mean? And it costs to feed chicken. Chicken feed is like $20. That'll last you probably a month for 15-20 chickens. You know what I mean? Pig feed, same thing. It's maybe like $20, $25 every 2 weeks. So by the time you pay into it, you're getting your money back and making some. Or you process them. Think about how much pork costs. You go to the store and buy a pork roast.
Oh Lord.
Okay, you know what I mean?
Here, let's do something that I can right off the top of my head. Yesterday, we went grocery shopping, and
we call that?
Yeah.
Oh.
We got chicken. Now I can remember way back when
chicken was always your cheapest meat.
Chicken was always your cheapest meat. You could get chicken for like $5 for those yellow foam things,
like 6 or 8 breasts. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I mean?
I got 2 yesterday, and I paid over $11 a piece for both of them. So I mean, okay, you go to Tractor Supply and you buy baby chicks,
and you raise them for 4 months.
And they're meat chickens,
and then you can process them as meat chickens.
You can process them, and you paid $1 something plus whatever the feed costs.
You got to put the work in. Yeah, you got to process it or take it to a processor, which chickens aren't hard to process. We won't get into that on YouTube, but they're not hard to process. And then you cut down the wings, the breasts, the thighs, all that, and you freeze it, and then you're good for hell. You could.
When I was younger, my grandpa
10 chickens could last you 8 months.
My grandpa helped my neighbor basically process chickens, and
neighbors yelling at somebody.
Yeah, I mean, I can remember. Funny story.
Welcome back, Alex.
Funny story. I can remember they did what they had to. I mean, I don't want to get into too graphic, but the chicken chased my brother down over the hill and back to my grandpa's house. After they did what they did. Like, I mean, there's a lot of ups and downs with processing your own chickens.
But it's worth it in the end.
But
like, I looked it up. If you do say a cow, for instance, 1,000-pound cow you get 60% hanging weight. So cow doesn't. What does the XP do? I have no idea. I mean, honestly, you have to find out for you, Tina. I don't know. I think that you can get buy certain stickers or use it for stickers or something, or like super chats when I get that far. But say you have 1,000 pound steer, and then it's processed. It's processed, so they take the head and the feet and all that off, and then it's hanging weight is the meat and bones. You always 60%, so it's 600 pounds of meat and bones. It'll cost you around $1,100. Okay, you have that processed into steaks, roast, brisket, so on and so forth. You know what I mean? Ribs, country ribs, spare ribs. You're looking at what you would pay in a grocery store for that would be double what you paid for it, and that'll last us. Even if there's 6 of us, it'll last us. 6-8 months. A year. What's that?
The XP they're called experience points. They're you get special badges in live chat, but it resets every stream. But you can get them by sending live chat messages or sending super chats or super stickers.
Yeah, you guys have a lot of people, a lot of guys here have some. That's weird.
Tina's got 75.
Yeah, so is Alex and
Lisa
and Prepared For.
I don't talk I sometimes don't talk in the chat, so mine's only at 50.
I don't talk once in the chat.
So
my other account's on the chat too, but yeah, guys, like I said, I mean that's another fear I have. Real quick, I'm gonna end this here because it is getting dark. It's darker.
Yeah.
But we had a good time tonight, and sorry about the delay. Sorry about the buffering. But that's my other biggest fear is working with animals. Now, I personally am from the city. I lived in Baltimore. I've lived in smaller cities. She personally grew up sort of somewhat country, and now we live in the city. But she has some experience with it, some knowledge that.
Yeah, my grandpa, like I said, my neighbor had chickens. My aunt growing up had a cow. So, I mean, yeah, there's not very much experience there, but there's enough there.
Well, we're learning as we go, but she still has more experience than me.
I mean, not much, but it's there.
We're going to put Tina in the chicken pen. How about that? She can chase the chickens around. What do you think? That'd be fun, huh?
That would be fun.
Who do you think's going to win, the chickens or her?
I think the chickens would.
Oh. That's Mom. That's me. Oh, we'll put Jackson in the chicken pen.
There we go. We'll put Jackson in the chicken pen.
Good exercise, right, Alex? Right? Just like on Rocky, you had to chase that chicken, right? But all right, guys, we're going to get off here. I appreciate you guys all coming back to the channel. And again, this is the country called us. We're preparing to move to our a homestead raw land here in May, hopefully. No, thank you for stopping by. Prepared. Good night to you too. And we want to just you have a good night too, buddy. Love you. Document everything from point A to point B to C and D. But if you're seeing this live or you're seeing it after the fact, if there's something you want the next live for us to talk about or have questions about, leave it in the chat or drop it in the comments. Drop a like and come hang out. I answer all comments. She answers comments sometimes too, but I usually run the comment section. So if you got something mean to say, you can say it to me. I can take it. You know what I mean? But if there's something you guys want to hear about or questions you might have, don't be afraid to ask. All right. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate everybody. Love you all.
And in the words of Jack, peace out and have a nice day.
Well, night now.
Well, night now.
Oh, yes. My dad said I can get a dirt bike. Yes, you can, buddy. We're going to get you a dirt bike, and then we're going to make dirt jumps for you. And we're going to go hunting, and we're going to make a tree house. And that's my son, Jackson. He's all pumped up about it, which makes me feel great. I just hope my older kids get pumped up about it. You know what I mean?
Right.
All right, Jackson, I love you. I'm getting off, buddy. I'll call you in a couple minutes. Good night, everybody.